In this video, we will go over how to create a SOLIDWORKS part within an assembly that references the position of other parts within the assembly, allowing for complex solid modeling procedures. You can see it contains some slots which must index and surround the tabs on this part. So we've kind of got some inter-part relations. To create this connection through the assembly, we're going to leverage some advanced solid modeling techniques which can require and depend on a fundamental understanding of SOLIDWORKS and 3D modeling software. The purpose of this video is to explain the techniques and how they relate to SOLIDWORKS in specific, and relies on an understanding of the process itself and only explains the procedure specific to this CAD software. So what we have here are two slots. What we can do is we can actually go in, right click on our part, and edit the part inside of our assembly. So we can see these slots that we're trying to edit. So what we need to do is figure out where those slots should be placed, right? You can see that they aren't aligned with that tab. It should be, a quarter inch, half an inch to the right. So in order to move this part, we need to change that feature. Right? We need to move that slot. So what that does is, well, we need to go into that feature, and we need to edit the sketch. We need to change the sketch, which allows us to move the location. Now you can see we can move that slot around. Now what we need to do is say exactly where this slot should go. How are we going to do that? Well, what we want to do is look at this piece of sort of sheet, right? You can see we're pretty close manually, but we don't want to just drag it close by hand. We want to dimension it to be exactly centered. So the trick here is to align these midpoints of these features. What we want to do is create some construction geometry which allows us to align the features vertically. So what we do is we create a line, we make a construction by clicking the For Construction point. It's very important that your line starts in the center of your feature and ends on the center of basically the part you're trying to center it on. Right? So you can see we centered our slot, and then it goes to the center of the little plate, the little part we're trying to make inside the assembly. So you can see it's still unconstrained left to right. We haven't made it centered. In order to center it, we need to highlight our line and either make it horizontal or vertical, depending on the orientation of our sketch. And you can see based on these letters, we want this to be a horizontal line. Right? So we're going to highlight our line, make it horizontal, and now this slot is fixed to the very center of that plate. It's a little bit oversized, so that when we manufacture the part, it will fit inside the slot and account for some manufacturing tolerance. And so what we've done is, no matter where this part moves, if I slide this part around in the assembly, this slot will always be centered on that part. And so we will never have to go back into this feature and adjust it. It will automatically adjust to however this mounting plate and this caliper moves. We can go ahead and exit the sketch. You see the slots are created. Then we can exit the edit component window and go back into our full assembly. You want to save your work. So what we've done is we've taken a fluid moving sketch and constrained it to be centered not on a feature in the part, but we made it centered on a feature in an assembly, allowing us to create assembly relations, which can facilitate very complicated and very complex solid modeling techniques. And at this point, if I was to move this feature left or right, the part will auto adjust. So what that looks like, I can go ahead and edit my mates, edit my placement, and I can move this part to a 1 inch. Right? It's going to move those slots. You can see it immediately realizes the part moved and moves the slots. If I move the part back, the slots will follow. So what we've done is made it so that all we have to do to move a component, to move this brake caliper, is change one mating fixture. You don't have to go into the tab, the part, the mates, the sketches. It is one single number, and it moves everything together and everything stays aligned. And so these are the foundations and the principles that create extremely well designed and very solid SolidWorks models.